Thank you very much, everyone, and FoT to have us here. I'm Gabo, Horacio. We are from Minter, and we are going to present what we have been working on for the last almost 4 years. So basically, I discovered hypertext 4 years ago, and I was very struck with the whole concept. And I was very surprised that it's not a more common concept in human society, as it is our medium for thinking and communication, and that's big and that's huge, and we are fascinated with it. And we also discovered that the web as a hypertext system has very deep technical limitations, making it open for publishing. So you set up your web server, you publish, that's decentralized, that's permissionless, and that's great. The problem is that for collaboration, you actually need to, it's not decentralized. We actually need to go to all these central platforms, all these central databases, and that's because of the technical limitations of the web as a hypertext. And the problem with all these central platforms is that it's like central planning. They are not efficient enough to handle the complexity of our digital societies. They are not. So many of the problems we are getting is because of that. Central planning doesn't deal good enough with the dynamism, complexity of our digital societies. So what we are working is in an open hypermedia system for the web, and with the vision that intellectual communities should be the one running the internet and not all these central platforms by syncing computers. So we have built we have built this system, hypermedia by Minter, which involves an application that you download in your device. So it's a application that is local first, so no servers. It runs offline. The transcripts. Oh, here. Oh, move it on. Move it away. I hope so. No, I can't. Oh, yeah, I do. Here? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to demo. We are going to demo Horacio and me how it works. So we have the local application that is in the computer, and also you can run a Minter site, which is going to be on a domain. So here we have hypermedia, hyper.media, which is a domain, or we have Gabo.es, which is another domain. Also we have here. But no. Here we have hhg.link, which is Horacio's domain. So basically, in Minter we have. So we are in the application now. I have different groups. So for example, I have Gabo Friends, which is Gabo.es. This is my personal website. So I can invite different members. Everything is cryptographically signed. So basically, adding someone to a group means that you are adding his public key to the site, and he's going to be able, everything that is published is going to be part of the collection of content of this group. So for example, so you can create. So it's a hierarchical editor. multimedia, where you can add different type of media, images, audio, video. You can add files, PDFs, and whatever is you have contacts, which is direct connections with peers, where the content is going to be synced depending on the people that you are connected with. And so here's Horacio, that here's is all his content. These are his groups. And so, for example, history of hypertext. This is a document that I have published to my site. So if I go to my to the site, which is Gabo.es, history of hypertext. So here is the content that I've created with my application. Everything is digital signed. So here is Gabo, that is me. This is a public key, and anyone can verify that this text is mine. Keys are digitally signed content is so important for a distributed to making a distributed system, because then you don't need a central databases with login password, and this is you can manage identities only with digital signatures, no blockchain, no nothing, only digital signatures. So in this case, in this document, there has been contributions by Gabo and by Horacio, and also we have reused content from another document, as we may think here. The documents are version control, so you can see how the documents evolve. It's very inspired on Git, so it's very version control. So I can see I can see how the document evolves with time, to the next version, to the next version, to the next version. And I can see how all the content starts adding up. So for example, if I go to the document, so I'm going to create a new, or maybe you want to do it.
Yeah. So basically I have my local node also running, and we are peer-to-peer connected with both the site, the group, and his machine. So any change that I do to those documents will be propagated to all the nodes that are connected. So essentially everyone will know that there's a new version of that, or there's a new change that creates a new version that you can see not only on the site if it's published, but also in any peer that is connected. And because everything is immutable, everything is cryptographically signed, everybody will know when happened and who did it, because I'm adding my public key on that immutable data. So if I do, for example, I edit, well, I'm not sharing right now, but I'm in that document, I'm gonna do version hypertext at the end, right? So if I commit this change to Gabo's friends, which is the group that I'm part of it, and I commit it, it will be available in Gabo.es when he reloads.
Yeah. So the interesting thing is that we are bringing immutable content, because here I'm in this version of the document, which is a hash of the content. So this is completely immutable. So if I refresh, I won't see his change, because this is an exact version of the document. It's immutable, and this is so important for having non-breakable links. So if someone has a link to one of these or any part of this text, that link is not going to break forever. Because another thing is that once you link to something, so if I'm in, well, first I'm going to go to the last version. So I'm going to the last version, and I'm going to see here version hypertext. That is the last content that his computer has published and his device has signed, and that I can verify that this piece of text of the whole document is his, and everything without central server. I mean, this went from this computer to this server, which I set up in DigitalOcean. No minter.com or whatsoever involved here. And so links. So for example, if I'm in another document, so for example, we are history of hypertext. So we are missing something about Project Xanadu and Ted Nelson. What we can do is we can transclude paragraphs. So I can copy this paragraph. Right now, the smallest thing we can address is paragraphs, but because we haven't done it yet. But the whole architecture of the system is that we can even transclude characters. But now I'm going to transclude this paragraph to the. So I'm going to edit.
Wait, you better create a new draft.
Oh, yeah, because I didn't get the last one.
Yeah, no, you're in the last one.
Okay, now. So, boom. Just with a link, I created a transclusion to Ted Nelson's paragraph. I commit. So here I have a transcludable. So this fragment is verifiable that this fragment is from another document signed by another author. So now when I go to the web, as we may think, refresh.
No, that's what we may think.
I go to the
history.
Oh, sorry, this one.
History of hypertext.
Yeah. So I get this paragraph, which is not mine, which I brought from another document. Which when I click, I get to the other document. Hearing this is authored by me, not by Ted, but we should trace if it was by Ted. And the cool thing is that when you reference something, you start storing it too in your computer. So the content that it gets more referenced is going to be more it's going to be more permanent, because my device gets all the references that I'm using it and I'm storing them. So this link is actually permanent. It's not unbreakable because I have the two sides of the link. I'm storing it on my computer. And also I have, like, this is a hypermedia P2P database. I have the content that I'm interested in. I have it local first in my computer. So it's very easy to index all the links I have. So it's very easy to extract the backlinks. So so in this case, so I'm here in Project Xanadu, and what I can see is that there was another document, History of Hypertext, that has referenced this, and I can travel. I can go to the reference.
Show the local machine also with the citation number.
Okay, and then, of course, we are so inspired with Xanadu and with Engelbart, but in this case, Xanadu, we can also just pay Bitcoin. So what we do is we count characters of the whole document, and we can distribute. We can do a distribution of micropayments to each of the contributors based on whatever we want. Characters, maybe you want to have 20% to the royalty, and you pay, and it's instant. It's cross-border. It goes anywhere in the world. You can pay someone from Bangladesh, can pay someone from Argentina. And
this is also an open question too, because right now we're using characters, but maybe in the future we want to know what would be the best or fair way of distributing this kind of value to authors. If there's any other way of measure it, it'll be awesome to talk about. Yeah.
And what else?
And yeah, that's it.
Okay, who's got the first question?
Well, I should
Might give a question. You'll need the microphone. I've got a question. Yeah. We need to move into that. Okay, so we'll do. Thanks very much. So I think you started off talking about decentralization and the immutability of what you write, and using that as a foundation for being able to create, a new web, I suppose, that allows for more of this interaction. But the immutability of it, I'm interested how that intersects with GDPR, especially the right to be forgotten, and the idea, that we have this enshrined in law that people have the right to be able to remove data from it. Is that compatible with the system?
So so the system this is public. So it's for like the public discourse. So once you share something, if someone gets it and stores forever, it's going to be stored forever. because again, there's no kind of central servers whatsoever, so we are not in control of what could happen. So we cannot impose GDPR measures. But I think that's the way how it works. If you publish something to the web and someone screenshots or goes to Internet Archive, that's how it is. It's interesting how the system how it works, that when you reference something you are going to store it to, makes that the content that's more referenced is going to be more permanent. And that's kind of like a memory in the system where if things stop being referenced, they're going to tend to get forgotten. So it's like an organism, and like how our mind works too. Less you reference something, it gets forgotten, and that's the only way to really delete something on the system.
I mean, if you use PDF, can't be forgotten.
Actually, I will take the bait. 3 quick questions. Number 1, I think, is it okay? I think it's okay. Is the client native or is it web-based? Because I saw the content was web-based, but I think the editing is not.
Right.
So that's the PDF bait. Let's say, why is it not just the web if it's not? You said it's a protocol. Do you have clients developed by random people like us? Or is it just you for now? And the last question was, I mean, there was a cheeky one, like, do you have WebXR content on it? Just
We have
WebXR content on it. Do you have, because discussed a bit about VR before, so VR
So-
content for it.
so well, everything's open source, so you can.
That was the question I actually missed. Perfect, thank you.
So everything is in GitHub, Minter Hypermedia. So everything is open source. We have the Apache license, and basically we started with okay, this is we want to do. I mean, we are in love. We fall in love with Engelbart. I want to build this beautiful system. But then we actually discovered. I mean, we felt that the web is very good, you know, and the web is a hypertext we have given to ourselves, and it's not going away. And we believe that we need to improve it. So the whole idea of our system is to bring this versioning, authentication, and micropayments to the web. So what all we are doing is we are trying to connect it very well to the web, right? So improving the links. So the links, you have the human readable links with our web, but then you can have all the parts of the content where it brings the versioning and the immutability, and so it's basically very web based. But the client right now is a desktop application. It's not web.
Why? I don't understand why.
Because it's a peer-to-peer system. So you need to be syncing all the time, and you need to get access to the file system. And so that syncing continuous syncing. That's one argument. That continuous syncing is you need to have access to the device, which from the web browsing, you have the local store of the browser, but that's not enough for running the syncing. We use IPFS to run the. And the second one is because of the web limitations, the web is very limited to the browsers are very limited to our current experience, and we wanted to experiment with these ideas of multiple windows, of visible connections, and there was a lot of limitations of the browser itself, and it kills the experience, you know, like for overall for the authoring of if you want to really link everything and reuse, and you know, if you really want to have that experience of authoring, we need, you know, and so that's why we use.
To expand on this answer, one of the reasons why we did a desktop application is because there are 2 processes running at the same time. One is the actual local server that is connected, that is the IPFS node, that is connecting to all the peers and is orchestrating all that and indexing all the data. And also the client side, which is the one consuming that API, which is local. Of course, the client side is web-based, but another reason why we're using the desktop application because that means that the keys, your private keys for you to offer content are local. We are not putting those in any local storage or anywhere that the website or our website or our web page can access to. So we found that a good solution for us right now. That doesn't mean that maybe in the future someone will create a client that can work on a website, or maybe we can create some bridge between your local node, which has access to your keys, and a browser that you can actually offer content in the browser. So that's a possibility that we haven't explored because, as you may guess, it's a very complex system that to build on. So.
Yeah, actually, it's multi-device. So you have one identity, but you can start signing different devices. So you can start signing your content with the same identity and sharing the same identity from different devices. So yeah, the signature that this is the device signing the content, it's key also in the system.
Oh, basically, first, then the barrel.
Okay.
Because
It's just mine should probably be quite quick.
Can you unshare your screen?
Yes.
So you see.
Yeah. So first of all, just I find it tremendously exciting to see this kind of stuff. And I said there's been a kind of resurgence in people interested in hypertext technology and kind of revisiting some of the kind of key ideas from the sort of 80s and the 90s, but with modern technology and reimagining it. And this is very much in that vein. So thank you very much. So my question is actually quite boring in comparison, but I'm thinking of other places where you see this reinvention. So you see, for example, personal knowledge management environments, so things like Notion, which are very centralized, and they're very much pitched at teams who want to share hypertextual content and grow things. And then you have systems like Obsidian, which are local first, very much pitched at individuals. And you're kind of offering something which sort of is in this sort of sweet spot between the two. It's both local first and it's collaborative. But where do you kind of see this as a primary use case? So both of those systems, they have a very clear vision for, if you are this type of person, this is the sort of hypertext system you want to have. What's your vision for that type of person for a kind of decentralized hypertext infrastructure?
So basically, we like the open collaboration. So collaboration between strangers. All these systems normally are teams that are trusted teams. And as the web when it started, and I think that the idea of open collaboration or collaboration with the strangers that share the same knowledge goals, I think that there it's where we are missing right now from the web, right? And I think that it's the most powerful thing from the web. So in that open collaboration where hundreds of people can collaborate without knowing or trusting each other. So that's where we are focused. We like a lot the concept of being part of digital knowledge communities, and we're very inspired with that.
Randall, you are next, but just on the collaboration thing, especially the question of going into XR environments and stuff. This is what I also hope this community will do, is to develop open ways to do that. Obviously, I'm all about visual meta, which I'll present this afternoon a little bit. Most of you know it, but we don't want to have an XR solution for Minter that is, your own package, ideally. We want it to be able to go into the different spaces. Okay, Brandel, and then back to Fabienne, I think. But we have to wind it down a little bit. Yeah, if you want to, Brandel, are you there?
I could like.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also realized I had failed to give a brief introduction of myself, so I will take that opportunity as well. My name is Brandel, and I propose and represent and discuss spatial hypertext standards for the W3C on behalf of the browser company. So it's with that sort of bias in mind that I ask these questions. Although I'm, to be clear, representing myself and not any of those big companies today. So my question is similar in terms of what is the primary sort of purpose. So you mentioned collaboration, but before you also mentioned payment and being able to sort of attribute for the purposes of payment. Is there so that could simply be the answer, but I'm curious of what the consequences of successful use of this application or framework or philosophy look like en masse. How would you know when you have one? What is the difference in people's behavior and actions on the internet?
Can you quickly just summarize that?
Good question.
So,
the question is in this system, if it's successful, what's going to be the impact? What's going to be the main use case, and what's going to be the impact of the user's behavior that's going to merely have. And he mentions also that is collaboration, but collaboration is a very broad concept, and also the relationship with the idea of payments. Our mission is, and it's amplifying intellectual communities, and make the experts share their knowledge again. And I think that having a strong identity with bringing authorship with public keys, where everyone is going to be referenced, cited, making a possibility to be cited and recognizing their authorship. I think it's going to make more people share what they know and be keen to collaborate with others. I think that protecting that authorship, that is how academia works, but it's a very complex technical system to go from an idea to I publish this. I think that, yeah, so this system with a better authorship, I think that will impact more people wanting to share. And in terms of payments, like we use Bitcoin. We will add dollars, euros, and other. But the system, like the micropayment system that allows this, we have only found the way of doing this with micropayments. So it's a very niche thing right now. So it's hard to know how it's going to evolve. But we would love to bring a business. So right now, media, either in news, either in regular media, or media or publishing on academia, we believe that are broken. All those industries are very broken. So academia, because someone is earning a lot of money and the distribution of money is not very well done, and news, because news media publishing, because their business model is broken, and in our opinion, all this media is fundamental for democracies. So it's the public deliberation should be happening in those editorial processes. So I think that fixing those business model, enabling those editorial processes of review of sources, of validating, I think that bringing that business model to all those publishers would solve a lot of our current fragile democracy. Thank you very much, everyone.
I'll send you the question.
So it will be a second, but we have forgotten something quite important. I'm going to share screen here first, and then go to Safari.
Then I can add.
Yes. No, what?
It was to ask a question.
Oh, no. Questions, that's too much. Yeah, I was just going to say, if you go to the Future of Text website and then Symposium, there is a link on here to please introduce yourself. Please do that. I should have said it in the morning, but of course I forgot half of what I should have said. It's just a Google Doc. There's no public or private key. And anybody can write what they want. Oh, it's beginning. Oh, very good. Also, if you're presenting, if you want to put your presentation there, it'll make it easier later for everyone, not just me, for going through things. So that was that. Do you want to type in there?
Yeah, it's in your chat on Zoom. It's a message.
In the chat on Zoom. Okay. Chat on Zoom. This one?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Okay, so Leon is now, and then we have maybe one more presentation before lunch. Is anyone here in the room wanting to present? Okay, good. You two fight.
Do you have a full screen button or? Okay, you're already. Yeah.
Okay, Leon.
All right.
Are we still recording on this? Sorry. If that's still recording, keep it. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, so let's start then.